Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. It's back to school for public elementary and secondary students on August 29. The Education Department, though, has yet to release the academic calendar for the coming school year. Some groups, including the Teachers' Dignity Coalition, want to revert to the June to March academic calendar in order to lessen class suspensions due to extreme heat. There are also concerns about starting the school year this month when many areas in the country are reeling from floods.
Yung heat index pinakamataas sa Abril at Mayo. So we can spare our children po kapag iiwasan natin yung mga buwan na ito, no. Mas mahirap kapag i-adjust natin yung ating klase because of flooding. No, ang kailangan po natin dito ay talagang yung lasting, yung strategic solution din dito sa mga pagbaha.
Right, here's a big tip for motorists this coming weekend. Emergency road repairs at the EDSA busway will start tonight. The so-called one-time big-time repairs will start at 10 in the evening later and last until 5 in the morning of Wednesday, August 9. 15 sections of the EDSA busway will be temporarily closed off. That's from Buendia to Muñoz to fix damage caused by Typhoon Egay and the heavy rains from the Habagat. The MMDA has provided a list of alternative routes for the duration of the roadwork. Take a look at your screens now. For those traveling headed south, motorists can use these on-ramp routes. The MMDA has also listed 5 off-ramp routes for motorists heading south. These are being flashed on your screens right now. On the flip side, northbound motorists may use the following on-ramp routes. Among them are the SLEX Elevated Extension, Nagtahan, and Quezon Avenue. Other alternate routes for those headed north are NLEX Balintawak and the Mabuhay lanes. In other news, the Budget Department defends the higher allocation for the trips and intelligence and confidential funds of the President. In the proposed National Expenditure Program for next year, the Marcos administration will be getting some 9.2 billion pesos in confidential and intelligence funds. That's an increase of about 120 million pesos from this year's budget. As for President Marcos's foreign travels, funding has been allotted at 1.4 billion pesos or 58% higher from this year's 893 million pesos. However, Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman believes that the increases are justified. She particularly underscored the value of the chief executive's trips overseas.
We have been going out of the country to present po the Philippines as an investment hub po. So I think yung expenses po ng travel as long as it will be beneficial, it's justified.
But the ACT Teachers Party List, or ACT Teachers Party List, condemned the higher budget for the office of Marcos Jr., saying it's vulnerable to corruption. The group also vowed to block the passage of confidential and intelligence funds in the upcoming budget deliberations.
So, nag-worry kami dito dahil alam natin na hindi ito na-audit. Hindi ito na-audit agad-agad ng COA at discretion ito ng halimbawa ng Office of the President, ng OVP, doon sa paggastos. At hindi naman nire-report din sa Kongreso saan ito ginagamit.
We'll be pausing for a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Flooding continues to be a problem in several parts of the country after more than a week of incessant rains. In Pampanga, a significant portion of Barangay Agustin in Candaba is still submerged in flood water. Currently, residents are only relying on makeshift boats for transportation. Most of the locals of Candaba have opted to stay in their homes, waiting for the flood waters to subside, with only a few families opting to stay in evacuation centers. In Bulacan, heavy rains have let up, but massive flooding continues to be a concern over there due to the high tide. Affected coastal towns include Bulacan, Kalumpit, Hagonoy, Obando, and Paumbong. The provincial government is warning Bulacanos about potential illnesses from prolonged exposure to floodwater, such as leptospirosis and athlete's foot. And driving remains a struggle in some parts of the North Luzon Expressway because of floods. Yesterday, the San Simon portion of the NLEX was inundated by as deep as 1.5 feet, despite sandbagging efforts around that stretch. Authorities are hoping for improved weather conditions to allow floodwaters to subside. And for those going on weekend trips or have weekend plans, make sure to pack your rain gear. Rains are expected across most of Luzon due to the southwest monsoon or habagat. Today, Friday, occasional rains will be experienced in Pangasinan, Zambales, and Bataan. Rain showers are also expected over the Cordilleras, Batanes, the Babuyan Islands, Occidental Mindoro, and the rest of Ilocos and Central Luzon. For Metro Manila, it will be a cloudy Friday with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Headline inflation settled at 4.7% in July, marking the 6th month of tempering in prices. The July print is slower than the 5.4% logged in June and the 6.4% from the same period or the same month last year. The Philippine Statistics Authority attributes inflation's cooling to slower movement in the cost of housing, water, electricity, and gas and other fuels. Two former cadets of the Philippine Military Academy, or the PMA, have been convicted for the hazing death of their fellow PMAer, Darwin Dormitorio. Christian Zacarias and Julius Tadena were found guilty of slight physical injuries and are facing 30 days in prison. Meanwhile, 3 doctors were acquitted of reckless imprudence resulting in homicide in the Dormitorio case. Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos has ordered an investigation into the collapse of multiple electric posts in Binondo, Manila. The Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP, will be providing assistance to those affected by the incident and will be on top of clearing the area as well. The Fire Bureau has also been tasked to coordinate with Meralco, the power company that owns the posts. Meralco has said that it has replaced the toppled posts and that power has been completely restored in Binondo this morning. In the United States, former President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty to charges over attempts to overturn his 2020 election loss. Trump's arraignment on Thursday lasted for about an hour at a Washington courthouse near the Capitol. His supporters infamously tried to storm the Capitol on January 6 of 2021 to try and stop Congress from certifying Trump's defeat. For his part, Donald Trump claimed that he is being persecuted by the administration as he is leading the polls for the upcoming 2024 presidential elections.
This is a very sad day for America. This is a persecution of a political opponent. We can't let this happen in America.
One News Now will be back at 3:15 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.